Hey guys, Ratman here. So this is an update to my last video about Steam Cloud integration with games. Now, in that video, I hypothesized that it might be possible to have two separate games connected to each other through the Steam Cloud. For instance, you make one game called game, let's call that game one. And in that game, the player goes through a level. Let's say it's a shooter game. They drop a gun at a specific location. You could then create a save file using create, or I think it's create save game object. Yeah, so you do create save game object. Select. In my case, it would be SG horror, and then you would just save game to slot, and then you would name it. In this case, I'll just name it save one, and then it gets saved into the game's save folder. And it's encrypted with Unreal Engine's auto encryption feature. So if I were to, for instance, open up, I have in my folder, I'm looking for it real fast, and then I'll share my screen. We have auto saves. Do I not have game saves? Oh, motherfucker. I totally deleted them, didn't I? Well, huh. That's funny. Anyways, normally, I'll share my screen real fast. So normally what would happen is if you create a save game for your game, this folder right here. So my game is the Silent Bells. So you'd go into your saved, and then right here there'd be a folder called saved or game save, I believe. Um, and that would show up here, and then you would open it up, and inside of it would be your save game object. In which case, mine would be save one, is what I call it. So that's what it would be called. Anyways, so then what you can do is using Steam Core Pro is what I use personally. So this tutorial or this explanation is more specifically geared towards that, you know, Steam Core Pro. So I don't know how other plugins would do it, but there's probably a tutorial out there for other plugins. So for Steam Core Pro, what you do is you would then take this save game and you'd plug it into this. So you type in your absolute file path. So for instance, save game save one dot save. So if I actually change this to like .sav for .save, then you would just pretty much take this and say, take this file called that is inside of the saved folder, inside of the game save folder, and it's called save1.save or sav. You'd input that into here. So then what this does is it reads a binary file and returns an array of a uint8 because that's how Steam writes their stuff, I guess. I don't exactly know why this is necessary. I mean, I know why it's necessary. It's because that's how this write function works. So if you were to just try and plug in the absolute file path into file write, it wouldn't write correctly, I believe. But I'm not 100% sure on that. So, anyways, you do that, and then it gets converted to bytes, and then you write that file into save1.sav, but this write file actually uploads it specifically to the Steam Cloud. And then the way you get that file is you do this get file. So it goes into the save cloud. It goes into your Steam Cloud, for your game. And it will check for a file called save1.sav. And then you do file read, which reads it as binary or as bytes. And then, so it reads it as bytes, and then you pretty much convert it from bytes to the file again. And once again, you have your Steam save now uploaded back onto the player's computer in the specific game folder. And you can also make it so that it overwrites the save if the save file already exists within the player's folder. For instance, if a player makes a new game by accident, they could easily go into the Steam Cloud and, do this to get their save back. Or because it would have the overwrite if exists option checked, then that means a player could get their save back if they accidentally deleted it. And then if they accidentally created a new save by accident, or you can have this turned off, in which case, if the file already exists, it will not overwrite it, even if there are differences in the file. So, yeah. And because this is how Steam Cloud works, my idea of having two games where you could have game one with the person dropping the weapon, you could save the weapon's location to your save game, to the player's save game file, and then you could have that save game be loaded onto the sequel game by using the Steam Shared Cloud feature. And then you could have your game read that save file and figure out where the gun was placed. So then if the player goes back to, let's say the player in game 2 goes back to that level, then they would find their gun there, even though it's a completely different game. Now, obviously, that's just one example of how this could be used. There's plenty of other ways to go about it, cooler ways to go about it and whatnot. None that I can come up with off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's some creative motherfucker out there that's going to make a game or makes, two games that would then utilize the shared cloud feature to have a really, really cool connective tissue between one game and another. But yeah, so this is just a little thing that exists and it's cool and I like it. Steam Cloud is really dope. Okay. Anyways, with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.